If you've ever wondered why your drives aren't going as far as you'd like, you're not alone. I've been there too. Not long ago I found myself completely stuck. Despite doing exactly what great driving experts told me to do more than anything else, striking the ball well, my driving distances were still disappointing. But here's the game changer. After making two key changes, I've added over 40 yards to my drives. And at a point in my golfing life when I thought the only way was down, when it came to my best driving days. And the best part? Neither of these changes required more swing speed or any changes to my swing. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're turning our golfing focus onto two changes that completely transform my driving game, fixing my attack angle and adjusting my driver loft. Together these tweaks have helped me gain over 40 yards, and on some days gains closer to 50 yards off the tee. Firstly, let's talk about the first change, fixing my attack angle. For those not familiar with the term, attack angle is the vertical up and down angle the club is moving on relative to the horizon when your club head meets the ball. The difficulty is this is not the easiest thing to visualise, especially since we're often talking about very small degree differences, but here's the thing. Even a small shift can lead to distance gains. Thankfully with modern launch monitors, it's easy to see whether you're hitting up on the ball and have a positive angle of attack or down on it with a negative attack angle. And as I now know very well, this number matters. And that's because most amateurs, myself included until recently, naturally hit down on the ball, creating a negative angle of attack. The problem with that though is that it kills distance with your driver. According to TrackMan, the average male amateur has a negative attack angle of minus 1.6 degrees. And as we can see here, a golfer swinging at 95 miles an hour, which is pretty average for male amateurs, can lose up to 31 yards of carry and 33 yards of total distance between the extremes of minus 7 and a plus 7 degree attack angle. And in my case, I was right there with the average golfer. In fact, I was often even worse, with my attack angle sitting at minus 2.4 degrees, and on some swings it was as low as minus 4.4 degrees. Without even realising it, I was robbing myself of a lot of potential yardage. So what changed? The fix was surprisingly simple. I adjusted my ball position at address. Before I had the ball too far back in my stance, closer to where I position it for my irons. And just like an iron shot, that caused me to hit down in the ball, creating a negative attack angle. The problem is though that costs you distance with driver, but by moving the ball forward in my stance, closer to my front foot, I naturally started hitting up in the ball instead of down. And this one small tweak made a huge difference, giving me at least 10 yards of extra carry distance and close to 20 yards of total distance, all without swinging any faster. We'll dive a bit more into whether changing your driver ball position in the same way as I did could on its own have the same impact for you a bit later. But one thing is crystal clear. From launch monitor data, expert advice and my own experience, if you want to hit the ball further, you need to be hitting up on it with your driver. Here's the thing however, we all know golf is never that straightforward. Sure, making my driver attack angle positive gave me an immediate boost in distance, but it also immediately gave me a new problem that highlighted how attack angle is only one piece of the distance puzzle. And the new unexpected problem I hit was that my launch angle skyrocketed. While hitting up in the ball is clearly great when it comes to distance, for me there was a catch. I was already hitting it high with my old driver loft. So when I started swinging with a positive attack angle, I just wasn't launching it high, I was sending it way too high. And as you've probably guessed by now, a launch angle that's too high for your swing isn't good for distance either. Instead of gaining all the yards my new positive attack angle could give me, I was watching my drives balloon in the air, losing out on both carry and roll distance. We are often reluctant at Golfing Focus to throw around technical terms like launch angle and attack angle because golf is frankly hard enough without adding more things to think about into the mix. But the reason they're important and why it's useful to have even a basic understanding of them is simple. Thanks to modern launch monitors, golf experts now know exactly what factors determine driver distance. In my case, changing my ball position to get me hitting up on the ball was great, but it added 3 to 6 degrees to a launch angle that was already too high. And this meant I was now further away from dialing in one of the key elements for maximising driver distance. To fix this, I turned to an expert for a club fitting. And as a result of that session, I switched my old driver from a 10.5 degree loft to a lower lofted 8 degree model. That simple adjustment then brought my launch angle back into the optimal range, and more importantly, another 20 yards of distance. So by optimising my new attack angle in combination with the correct driver loft, I'm now consistently adding over 20 yards of carry and more than 40 yards of total distance to my drives compared to where I started. Which, given I'm now in my late 40s, an age where the stats are saying my driving distance should only be going one direction, down, these distance gains are a massive bonus, which have had a transformative impact on my game. It's also made my golf more enjoyable, which after all is what it's all about. All this shows, and it's the only takeaway from this video that really matters, is that all the key elements of driving distance, swing speed, ball speed, launch conditions and attack angle, are deeply interconnected. For every golfer who finds the right balance between these factors, the potential for distance gains are significant, depending of course on where you're starting from. Now I'm not saying these kinds of gains are guaranteed for everyone. Every golfer is different, as we all know, and what worked for me might not deliver the same results for you. And that said, there are some caveats from my own experience that are worth bearing in mind. Firstly, simply moving the ball forward with the driver worked for me, but that might not be the perfect fix for you. Your swing is as unique to you as mine is to me, and if you find that your attack angle is negative like mine was, it might take a different adjustment to get the results you're after. So if you're curious about this, I highly recommend checking out the Hack It Out podcast. They recently did a great episode on this exact topic, but here's what I do know from my own experience. If your attack angle is negative, there's a good chance your ball is positioned too far back in your stance. By moving it forward, probably more than you think feels natural, you'll have a much better shot at hitting up on the ball with your driver. And that's where the extra distance starts to come in. The second thing to keep in mind is that you might already have the perfect driver loft for your swing. And if that's the case, changing it might not give you the same gains it did for me. That said, based on my experience, I'd still recommend taking a closer look with your local pro or a club fitter if your numbers are showing you could be hitting it further. Because as we've discussed in another Golfing Go Focus video, even a 1 degree change in loft can make a big difference in distance for some players, let alone the 2.5 degree adjustment I had to make. In fact, Simon Cooper, the master club fitter at Precision Golf, who helped me find the right driver loft, put it perfectly. Loft is one thing that really gets the distance up. Without the loft change, you were never getting the extra distance. I'll be honest too, these changes haven't been all upside. I've noticed a slight increase in dispersion left, meaning my drives are spreading out a bit more to the left than before. But with some adjustments in my aim and more practice time in the range, that's already starting to improve. Like with any change in golf, it's all about fine-tuning. So what's the next piece of the distance puzzle for me? Swing speed. Swing speed is the ultimate ceiling for driver distance and is one of the biggest reasons why amateurs in general don't drive the ball far. The faster you swing, the farther you'll hit the ball, as long as you've got the other key distance factors like launch angle, attack angle and spin rate dialed in. Right now my swing speed sits just over 100 miles an hour, but if I want to crack that elusive 300-yard barrier, I need to push it up closer to 110. To get there, I'm diving into the stack system over the next few weeks, a speed training program specifically designed to help golfers boost their swing speed. It's been a game changer for pros like Matt Fitzpatrick, the former US Open champion, who credits it for his distance gains. I've got to admit though, I'm a little nervous about potential injuries. I've never done any speed training like this before, and let's be honest, the arms and legs aren't getting any younger. But having never been a long hitter, and with less than 0.1% of amateur golfers reaching the 300-yard mark, I'm going to give it a shot for a bit of fun. Will I make it? Time will tell. But I'll let you know how I get on, so stay tuned. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please do hit that like button and check out our other videos on attack angles and launch conditions specifically. Thanks again for watching, and as ever and most importantly, we hope you're enjoying your golf.